Bar Heights here, Supreme Courts. Still week 4 of our play dates. What an action-packed day. We've had a lot of larger schools now going to some smaller school action. We've got Sand Mountain legend Jamie Pruitt. I remember when he played. It was back in the 90s. His daughter Allie Pruitt, who's a senior, and then McKinley Traylor, who's a freshman. And these Lady Hornets impressed me today. I heard a lot about your team, Coach, and seeing y'all out and play, just the spacing, the body language was great. But talk a little bit about these play dates and especially that game out there we just saw.
Well, we've just tried to, like I was talking to you earlier, we've tried to get as many girls going as we can and try to get a lot of players involved in the summer. We're trying to win games, but at the same time, we're trying to feel the way around and see really who we are and what we need to try to do. We've tried to press a lot more this summer. We've moved a few girls up from the JV that probably gave us a little more speed than we had last year, so I felt like that was something that we need to try to work on and see how it went. Some games, like I told you, it's went real good, and sometimes it hasn't. I felt like we played one of our better games today. We shot the ball a little better a while ago. And when you're playing that fast, it's critical. Anytime you play, it makes you look a lot better when you're knocking shots down, so.
Cures a lot of eagles for sure.
Yeah, it sure does. It sure does.
So, Allie, you're the senior on this team. Playing for your dad, it's got to be cool to do that. Speak a little bit to his coaching style and how it is, and how are there beefs at home? Do you leave it all at the gym? Kind of how that works and how it is playing for him, because he's a basketball guy and has been for a long time.
I wouldn't say there's not any beef. Me and Dad are pretty chill. I told him the other day, I was like, if something hurts my feelings, I'm never going to tell you, because I don't want to cause an argument between us. But I love playing for him. He's a great coach. Really encouraging all the time.
Well, you can see it, and you can see the camaraderie that y'all have. And so your freshman sidekick here watched you out there playing today. So talk a little bit about as well playing for Coach, about like in the practices, how intense he is. But he calms y'all, when he's talking to you, like whether he's explaining something. It just seems like there's a calmness. Is that what you feel when you're out there playing?
Yeah. Like whenever I do something bad or something and I get down on myself, he brings me over there, talks it out,
So, question for each one of you. I'll go back to Coach. So, Allie, tell me, you've played with her for a year now, and this will be the second year. Tell me what you like about McKinley's game, what she brings to your team, and why you like playing with her.
She brings a lot of energy. She can drive the ball real good. Ball handling, great. I just love playing with her.
So, McKinley, what about Allie? What about your second player?
Whenever everyone's down, she's around, going, patting them on the back, keeping them up. Shoots really good.
Yeah, we saw how she can shoot it. Coach, this is a team that has a mix. You've got some seniors, you've got some young players. There's a lot of young coaches out there. There's a lot of players out there that watch these interviews that I played on a team when I was in the 8th grade that did not like each other. There were 6 seniors and 6 underclassmen in, and we never really got along until the end of the year. How do you manage that? How do you mesh that, whether it's playing time, personalities? Just speak a little bit about the difficulties and positivity of that.
Well, it's always good when you've got young players that get to play a lot of minutes. That's great.
100%.
But like you said, there can be some conflict, tension between older kids and, McKinley's been on varsity. We've been on varsity now. Is this the third year?
Yes.
And, I'm not going to sit here and lie. This will be my second year, but I had an older daughter that played on the team a couple of years ago, and there was conflict when McKinley got on the team. And she deserves to be on the team. She's that kind of player. She can, like Allie said, she's a great driver and disher, and she can score around the basket. Can shoot the ball well too. So there's a fine line. I feel like you got to have a relationship with your players, and that's not always going to fix the problem. But I feel like if you talk to them, I've always been one of those that I try to talk through the issues, whatever's going on, and not just individually. I'll get the whole team in there, and sometimes I'll talk individually. Just whatever I feel like I think we need to do, then that's what I'm going to do. I feel like communication is one of the major components of being a good team, being good teammates. If you can't talk or communicate with your teammates, and if the chemistry is not good, it shows, like you said a while ago. I feel like we've got good chemistry. I feel like we're good at sharing the ball. I felt like we shared the ball today probably better than we have all summer. But I feel like that's kind of a growing process. You got to trust your teammates, and So it's a fine line between getting those seniors to buy into what, you know, these younger girls, and I've got several younger girls. We got, how many freshmen we got playing right now? 3?
4.
4. We got 4 freshmen that play. I mean, this summer, like I said, we're rolling people in and out, but we got 4 freshmen that plays a bunch right now this summer, so.
So, to the point we talked about, like some things that y'all like about each other's games. So I'll individually ask you all these questions, and if you will answer, Allie, you first. With all these parts, with all these young players coming up, you know, there's got to be there's some weaknesses in everybody's game that you can always improve. This is going to be a big year for y'all, according to a lot of people, and I see why after watching. What is a weakness, or what are a couple of weaknesses that you feel like, you know, as the leader of this team, as the senior, as the voice of your coach? What are a couple of things that you need to work on between now and the first of the year to get yourself in position to lead this team where you want to go?
Being a better driver, because I can't really drive to that's too good. I struggle with that.
So when you said being a better driver, getting in paint, off 2 feet, creating for your teammates, that type of stuff, and like you could tell that like it's kind of a focus. You could tell you're kind of trying to do that a couple of times when you were out there. So what about you, McKinley? I know it's, you know, there's this being an 8th grade, but one thing I love about you play hard. And just Eric lets you play hard. What's a couple of weaknesses or one weakness in particular?
I foul all the time. Reach. Foul.
That's a great answer.
You know what? That's not that bad of a thing. You know, we get to right, coach, because you want them to play hard. But why? Is it because it means so much?
Well, because I do it in dumb times. Like when it doesn't be done, if they're just sitting there on home ball, I'm gonna reach in and hit it every time.
Time and score. But that also comes. Coach knows is a great player back in the day. It comes with experience. It comes with going through games and then win 2, win not 2. Let's talk about this area a little bit.
Okay.
You know, I think we all know. I mean, the area is Pisgah, North Sand Mountain, and section. Obviously, Pisgah being there, 5-time state champion in a row. But they lost a big piece, a big Division I piece. That, you know, one of the most storied players in the history of girls basketball, especially small school. What is the expectation? Where are you in year 2 compared to where you thought you would be, and where do you think this team can go this year?
Well, we know Pisgah, that's the team to beat. I mean, that's the bullseye for us. I mean, you won it 5 times in a row. I mean, hey, you're going to be the bullseye. You know what I'm saying? They've got a lot of key players coming back. They did lose Molly, and she was an unbelievable player. She gave us fits last year. She gave everybody fits, you know, last year. And like I've said, we played them close. Like I told you earlier, we played them close. 2 regular season games, and it seemed like every time she would make several plays to, like, hey, just get on her back. Get on my back right here, and I'm going to, you know.
That was a lot of games that I watched.
Oh, yeah. She was a really good player. And I know Coach Haynes at North Sand Mountain, he's a hard worker. I feel like he's got a young team that's very promising. I mean, they play, I think they're trying to turn it up too a little bit. I ain't seen them play this summer, but what I've heard, they're trying to press and get up and down the floor a lot more, and they've got a good point guard and some good shooters. So, you know, I'm not overlooking anybody. I like where we are. We just got to stay hungry and keep working. I mean, that's our goal, really.
It's always the goal. But watching y'all play together, it looks like y'all have fun. If I look at the stat sheet at the end of the game, right, and I've watched an Ider game, you know, what are the 2 things that Coach focuses on every night that you guys have to do? What categories do you have to win, whether it be rebounding, turnovers, free throws, what are that? Is there 2 categories that he particularly?
Or probably defense. That's a big one.
We really try to focus. I mean, we're trying to get better. I felt like was our biggest weakness last year was our defense. Like and we're still not, I wouldn't say real good at it, but we're trying to be a lot more in pressure in the full court and then being solid in the half court. I know when I played, we were more, hey, we're going to turn you over, you're going to shoot a layup. I mean, when I played, that's kind of the mentality, but we're not trying to do that. We're trying to speed you up, but once it gets in the half court, get in the right positions where we can make it tough to score, you know.
Allie, give me a story this season for you, your senior year. What would you like to see happen starting October and ending in February for the Ider?
Going to state. It's my dream. I want to go so bad.
Just getting out of the regional, getting to Birmingham and playing in front of those crowds.
Yeah.
Can that happen?
Oh yeah, I believe it can.
What do y'all got to do to make that happen? Make that happen for her.
Just keep going hard and give it all your all the whole game.
Well, I enjoyed watching you, completely watching you play. Last question, Coach. This program has only come up. This is your second stint. Just speak to Northeast Alabama basketball and why it's different and the love compared to everywhere else. And you may not have ever been anywhere else coaching
Yeah,
or playing.
I've been in the Northeast my whole coaching career, but it's special. Like I've been to some of the other regional sites. I mean, when you go to the regional tournament at JSU, it's totally different. Like it's totally different. And actually, I mean, I know the state means more, but the best atmosphere is JSU. I mean, it's not even hands down the best atmosphere. I've had several teams to make it there, boys. I've had a boys team to make it there twice. I've had a couple of girls teams to make it there to regionals. I've made it once with the boys to the state, twice with the girls to the state when I was at Ider earlier. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's some of the best memories you'll ever have. I mean, you can tell the kids that, and you don't understand till you get there, you know. Yeah. And I mean, that's our goal. I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke. Hey, we're trying to get to Jacksonville, and then we're trying to get to the state. And then, you know, it may happen, it may not, but that's what I've told the girls. I feel like we're in a good position where, you know, I feel like we got a good chance to make it to the state. I'm not saying we'll get there. I'm just saying our chance is good. And I'm not going to buy into what everybody says that we're, you know, I've heard some coaches say, oh, y'all are loaded, y'all are going to go. Anything can happen, you know. I mean, of course, that's probably a lot of people's goal. Hey, we're going to try to get to here, Jacksonville. And that's our goal pretty much every year. We're going to try to get to Jacksonville. And, you know, we had a gauntlet last year of Pisgah, area finals, and then you get to go to Spring Garden at their home court with Ace Austin and the Wells girl, and it's just, you know, I thought we put up good fights in both games, but we just outmanned pretty much, you know, and we hope this year we can continue to improve. That's what we did last year. I felt like we improved from the first year to the end. You know, like I said, we just come up a little short, so hopefully we can make a few changes next year in the postseason.
Well, I do want to commend you. Since I graduated in '95, you graduated in '93. We've come a long way with our looks, with our hair, and with our
And I was going to say, I didn't say this a while ago. Our looks is good, I know that. I was going to say this. But this is the man, y'all don't know this. This is the man right here that broke my assist record, the state record. That's the man right there that broke it. So I don't know if they call me the legend. They call me the Sand Mountain legend. I don't know what the Winfield.
I'm just glad.
What are we going to call you? Winfield what?
Whatever you want, but I'm just going to say, and that is going to be documented on camera because everybody always talks about how much I shot it and all this, and but I did. I absolutely did pass it a lot. But thank you for bringing that up. And I remember a lot of times back in the day, I was always looking to see where the assist was because I was a 10th grader. Thank you for bringing that up, Coach, and thank you for joining us. Everybody keep an eye out for the Ider Lady Hornets. A lot of expectations. They've got some pieces. We'll see how it goes. Thank y'all for coming to Supreme Court today.
Thank you.